She handed me a list titled "Things You Need to Change to Marry Me." I said, "This is really helpful." Then I wrote my own list with one item on it: "Find a new girlfriend." I slid it back to her and walked out of the restaurant. I, 29 male, had been dating Bethany, 27, for about 18 months. We'd moved in together 6 months ago. Things seemed good, or so I thought. Looking back now, I guess the warning signs were there. The constant suggestions about my clothes, my friends, my hobbies. But I figured that's just relationships, right? Compromise and all that. Last Thursday, she asked me to meet her at this upscale Italian place downtown for dinner. Said she had something important to discuss. I'm thinking maybe she got a promotion or something. I show up, she's already there, looking serious as hell. There's a folder on the table. After we order, she slides the folder across to me. Before we take the next step in our relationship, we need to discuss some things. I open it. There's a laminated sheet titled, "Requirements for Marriage, Areas Where Derek Needs Improvement." I kid you not. Laminated. Like she went to Kinko's for this. The list: 1. Income. Must increase salary by minimum 40% within 12 months. Current salary inadequate for our lifestyle goals. 2. Physical fitness. Join CrossFit specifically. Lose 15 pounds. Develop visible abs. 3. Vehicle. Trade in current Honda Civic for marriage-appropriate vehicle, BMW, Audi, or Mercedes only. 4. Wardrobe. Complete overhaul required. She'd attached a Pinterest board of approved looks. 5. Social circle. Phase out friends Corey, Miguel, and Josh. Negative influences on our future. 6. Hobbies. Gaming limited to 2 hours per week maximum. Golf lessons mandatory. Networking opportunity. 7. Family boundaries. Visits to my mother reduced to holidays only. 2 attached. 8. Career path. Commit to MBA program by next fall. She'd already researched schools. 9. Housing. Must commit to purchasing home in specific neighborhood within 2 years. Minimum 3,500 scope fit. Social media. Remove all photos with ex-girlfriends. Update relationship status to include her in profile pic. She's watching me read, sipping her wine. When I finish, she goes, "I've thought long and hard about this. These are my non-negotiables. I need to know you're serious about our future." I stare at this list, then at her. She's dead serious. "This is really helpful," I said. Her face lights up. "I knew you'd understand. When can we start working on?" I pull out my phone, open notes, type one line: "Find a new girlfriend." I show her the screen, place a $20 on the table for my drink, and walk out. My phone started blowing up before I even reached my car. Ignored it all. Went straight home, packed her stuff into boxes while she was bombing my phone. Changed the locks. Landlord was cool about it when I explained. Put her boxes in the building's mailroom with a note for her to pick them up by Sunday. The entitlement of thinking she could hand me a whole-ass improvement plan like I'm some kind of project? Nah, I'm good. Update 1. Yo, the fallout from this has been absolutely wild. Bethany's entitlement has reached levels I didn't even know existed. So after I left the restaurant, she apparently sat there for another hour waiting for me to come back. The waiter told me this later. I'm a regular there, and he was dying laughing about it. She kept telling other tables I was having a moment and would return once I processed everything. Friday morning, she shows up at my work. Security had to escort her out. She was in the lobby with a PowerPoint presentation on her laptop, trying to show my coworkers Derek's transformation plan and asking them to talk sense into me. My manager, Carl, was like, "Bro, is this real life?" But here's where it gets insane. Friday evening, I get a call from my mom. "Honey, Bethany's here. She's brought a therapist?" I'm like, "What?" Turns out, Bethany drove 2 hours to my mom's house with an actual couples therapist she'd hired for an intervention. This therapist, Dr. Whitman, was apparently under the impression I was struggling with commitment phobia and that this was an emergency family session. My mom, bless her, let them in just to hear what they had to say. Bethany had created a whole presentation about my potential and how my mother had enabled my underachievement. The therapist started to realize something was off when my mom asked, "So did Derek agree to this session?" "Bethany, he will once he understands what he's throwing away." The therapist noped out real quick after that, told Bethany this was inappropriate and left. My mom told Bethany to leave too, but not before Bethany said, and I quote from my mom, "You're the reason he's like this. You never pushed him to be exceptional. My mom, the woman who raised me solo while getting her nursing degree. The audacity. Saturday, I get an email from Bethany's dad, Richard. Subject line, business proposal. This man, who I'd met maybe 5 times, sent me a formal offer to join his construction company as a junior manager, with the salary increase Bethany required, contingent on me reconsidering my hasty decision and attending couples counseling with his daughter. But the real kicker? He CC'd Bethany and wrote, "I've solved the income issue. The other items on Bethany's list are reasonable and achievable with dedication." Sunday comes. Her pickup deadline. She doesn't come. Instead, her friend Tara shows up with a U-Haul and 3 guys. But here's the thing. Bethany had given them a list of stuff to take that included my television, my gaming console, my coffee maker, and, I cannot make this up, my grandmother's china set that she claimed was basically hers since she used it more. Building security stopped them. I had to come down and point out exactly what was hers. Tara kept arguing that Bethany had invested in improving my apartment, so she deserved compensation. One of the moving guys actually apologized to me. "Dude, she told us you were abusive and stealing her stuff. But you seem chill and she sounds crazy." They refused to take anything not in the boxes after that. But we're not done. Oh no. Monday morning, yesterday, I get a LinkedIn notification. Bethany had updated her profile to say she was a life coach and relationship consultant and had published an article titled "When You Outgrow Your Partner, A Guide to Upward Dating." She didn't name me, but it was obvious. She wrote about how she'd spent 18 months trying to elevate a partner who was content with mediocrity, and how she'd created a framework for relationship advancement that was rejected by someone too comfortable with average. The comments were brutal. Someone found my post, I'd shared it in a relationship advice group, and linked it. Her article got absolutely roasted. She deleted it within 2 hours, but screenshots were already everywhere. Last night, she sent one final text from her sister's phone. "You'll regret this when you're 40 and alone with your video games." I replied, "Already having more fun alone with my video games than I had with your lists." Block that number too. My buddy Corey, one of the negative influences, brought over pizza and beer last night. We played COD until 3 a.m. Best Monday I've had in months. Update 2, I thought it was over. I was wrong. The entitlement escalation has been absolutely unhinged. So Wednesday, I get a call from my apartment complex office. There's been a complaint filed against me for illegal eviction and theft of property. Bethany had actually tried to file a formal complaint saying she was a legal tenant and I'd violated her rights. Here's the thing, she was never on the lease, never paid rent. She just moved in. The office lady, Deb, was like, "Hon, I've seen some nonsense, but this is something else." She showed me the complaint form. Under duration of tenancy, Bethany had written 18 months, 6 months physical, 12 months spiritual. Spiritual tenancy. That was a new one. Thursday, I'm at the gym. The regular gym, not CrossFit, sorry Bethany. And who walks in? Richard. Her dad. This man, who's maybe been to a gym twice in his life, wearing brand new workout gear with the tags still visible, pretending to bump into me accidentally. Derek. What are the odds? The odds were 0, Richard. The gym's security footage later showed him sitting in his car in the parking lot for an hour waiting for me to show up. He corners me by the water fountain. "Son, let's talk man to man." Bethany comes from a good family. She has high standards because she was raised to expect excellence. Maybe her delivery was wrong, but her intentions. Richard, she literally graded me like a performance review. She sees your potential. She sees a project. Then he drops this. "I'll buy you the BMW myself. Consider it an early wedding gift." I laughed so hard I had to sit down. "Richard, I don't want a BMW. I like my Civic. It's paid off." His face went red. "You're gonna throw away my daughter over pride? She chose you." "No, she chose who she thought she could turn me into." He stormed out, left his brand new gym bag behind. Friday was quiet, too quiet. Should have known something was coming. Saturday afternoon, I'm doing laundry in the building's basement when I get a text from an unknown number. "Check your mail." In my mailbox is an envelope. Inside, a printout from a dating app. A profile for Derek, 29-inch with my photos, but a bio I definitely didn't write. Successful professional seeking ambitious woman to build an empire with. Recently out of a relationship with someone who couldn't match my drive. MBA candidate, CrossFit enthusiast, future homeowner. No time for games or mediocre mindsets. She'd made me a fake profile and was matching with women, having conversations as me. I know because my coworker Paulo calls me laughing. Bro, my sister just matched with you on Hinge and you're being weird as hell. You keep talking about synergy and power couples. But here's the truly psychotic part. She'd been scheduling dates. 3 women had been given my actual address and told to meet me at specific times. The first one showed up Saturday night while I was in sweats playing Elden Ring. This poor woman, Janet, was so confused. She was dressed up nice, had driven 45 minutes, and found me looking like I'd just woken up from a nap I had. I showed her the real situation. She was pissed. Turns out I had been talking to her for 3 days about our future villa in Tuscany and retiring by 45. Janet helped me report the profile. Then, plot twist, she stayed and we ordered Chinese food and laughed about the whole thing. She left her number. Call me when your ex is done being insane. You seem normal. Sunday, the grand finale. I wake up to my mom calling. Derek, why did I just receive an invoice? Bethany sent my mother an invoice for $8,743 itemized. Relationship coaching and life improvement consulting. 18 months at $200 a month, $3,600. Personal styling services, $1,200. Career counseling and MBA research, $500. Meal planning and nutrition guidance, $900. Social circle optimization, $400. Interior design consultation, $1,500. Future planning and goal setting, $643. At the bottom, payment due within 30 days. Failure to pay will result in legal action. My mom, who's the sweetest person ever, left Bethany a voicemail. Sweetheart, I'm going to need you to never contact me or my son again, and if you send me any more of your nonsense, I'll be billing you for the time I waste reading it. My rate is $300 an hour, minimum 4-hour blocks. But the best part? Bethany's sister Megan reached out to me on Instagram, not to defend Bethany, to apologize. Turns out, Bethany had done this before. Megan sent me screenshots from Bethany's ex from 2 years ago, going through almost the exact same thing. Different list, same energy. That guy had to get a restraining order. I tried to warn her about doing this again, Megan wrote. She thinks she's a lifestyle curator or some shit. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. Just document everything for the restraining order you'll probably need. So that's where we are. I've got a lawyer now, my buddy's cousin, giving me the friends and family rate. We're sending a cease and desist letter. I've documented everything. The funniest part? Corey, Miguel, and Josh have made a drinking game out of this. Every time Bethany tries something new, we take a shot. Miguel's girlfriend said we need to find a new game because y'all gonna get alcohol poisoning at this rate. Meanwhile, I'm still driving my Civic, still gaming whenever I want, still wearing my inadequate wardrobe, and honestly, living my best mediocre life. Final update, this is it, the conclusion to this absolutely bonkers saga. Strap in because Bethany's final boss mode was something else. So my lawyer sent the cease and desist letter. Normal people would stop here. Bethany is not normal people. She hired her own lawyer. This lawyer, somehow with a straight face, sent a counter letter demanding 1. Compensation for breach of implied contract to improve himself. 2. Return of invested time and emotional labor. 3. A public apology for defamation, me telling people what actually happened. 4. Damages for loss of future lifestyle she reasonably expected. My lawyer literally had to leave the room because he was laughing too hard. He came back with tears in his eyes. In 15 years, I've never seen someone sue for loss of imaginary future BMW. But while this legal nonsense was happening, Bethany went full nuclear. She started a TikTok series called Dating Down, My Story. She didn't show her face but used voice filters and those weird animated story things. Got maybe 10K views on the first video where she painted herself as a victim of a commitment-phobic man-child who couldn't handle a strong woman with standards. The comments were eating her alive though. Gen Z does not play. Someone found my posts, connected the dots, and her comments became, "Girl, you gave him a laminated list? The CrossFit requirement is sending me? Spiritual tendency, ma'am, please seek help. She deleted everything after video 3. But then came the masterstroke of entitlement. Bethany showed up at my cousin's wedding. My cousin's wedding. She wasn't invited. She was never invited. She was explicitly uninvited after we broke up. But there she was, in a white dress, yes, white, trying to catch the bouquet. My cousin Lucia was beyond pissed. Security tried to escort Bethany out, but she made a scene, started crying about how this should have been our wedding and how I'd stolen her dreams. Told everyone who would listen that I'd promised her we'd be engaged by now. My aunt, who takes no shit from anyone, walked up to Bethany and said, "Honey, you need to leave before I call the police. And take off that white dress. You look desperate." But Bethany's final move? She grabbed the mic during the reception and tried to make a speech about true love conquering obstacles while staring directly at me. The DJ cut her mic. My uncle Antonio and cousin Marco physically carried her out. She was yelling about suing for assault. Marco, who's a cop, just laughed and said, "Please do. I'd love to show this video in court." The restraining order was granted the next week. The judge read through everything. The list, the invoice to my mom, the fake dating profiles, the wedding crash, and just looked tired. "Ma'am, this behavior is concerning. You need to leave this man alone and perhaps seek professional help." Bethany tried to argue she was the victim. The judge cut her off. "You sent his mother an invoice for being his girlfriend. That's not normal." Order granted. 500 feet, no contact, 2 years. The aftermath. Richard called me to apologize. Turns out, Bethany had been telling her parents we were still working things out. He had no idea about the restraining order until he was served papers. She'd been using their address. He was mortified. "Derek, I don't know what to say. We didn't raise her to be like this." Megan, her sister, sent me one last message. She's in therapy now. Real therapy, not whatever that intervention thing was. Mom and Dad finally see what we've all been trying to tell them. Sorry you had to be the one to expose it. My favorite plot twist though? Janet, the woman from the fake date. We've been hanging out. She thinks the whole story is hilarious. She came to game night last week and absolutely destroyed us at Mario Kart. Corey said she's already cooler than Bethany ever was. She doesn't care that I drive a Civic. She actually said it's smart to have a paid-off car. Revolutionary concept. My mom framed the invoice Bethany sent her. It's hanging in her kitchen. She shows it to everyone. Can you believe this girl tried to bill me for dating my son? It's become legendary in our family. Last I heard through the grapevine, Lucia's husband works with someone who knows Bethany's coworker. She's moved back in with her parents and started a new self-improvement journey. Apparently, she's making lists for herself now. Growth, I guess? As for me, still gaming with the boys. Still wearing my inadequate wardrobe. Still driving my Civic. Added a bumper sticker that says, "Mediocre and proud." Miguel got me it as a joke, but honestly, it stays. Never did join CrossFit. Did start going to a boxing gym though. Not for her list, just figured I might need to defend myself from future crazy exes. The trainer asked why I joined. I told him this story, and now the whole gym knows me as list guy. They printed out her list and put it on the wall as motivation, with a big red X through it. The best revenge? I'm happy. Genuinely happy. Living my average, mediocre, list-free life. Playing video games whenever I want. Visiting my mom every Sunday. Hanging with my negative influence friends. Bethany wanted me to change everything about myself to be worthy of marrying her. Turns out, I'm perfectly fine being unworthy of someone who sees love as a performance review. To everyone who followed this journey, thanks for the support and laughs. May your relationships be list-free and your standards be about actual compatibility, not someone's potential to buy you a BMW. Peace out from my adequate life. P.S. That PowerPoint she brought to my office? My coworkers saved it. We use it as a template for joke presentations now. Last week, Carl presented requirements for getting Derek to cover your shift, with items like must provide minimum 3 bags of Doritos and commit to watching the Office marathon. Even my manager laughed.